Hog fans, Forest City Joe here. I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here about an hour after Arkansas lost to Ole Miss 27-20. Their fourth loss in a row. They're 1-7 in their last one-score games. What in the heck is going on? I understand that every year has its twists and turns, but let's just be honest with ourselves, Hog fans. All the signs were there last year for a year like this. Having said that, pick my notes back up. Having said that, I never dreamed that you could lose games. All these winnable games. Every game we played this year, and I mean every game, was winnable, and that includes the Texas A&M disaster from last week. That was a winnable game. Losing to BYU at home was winnable. Winnable down at LSU. Winnable tonight over in Oxford, Mississippi. And Arkansas lost all of them. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this coaching staff, and I'm not talking on the defensive side of the ball, I'm talking about on the offensive side of the ball. This coaching staff gives the Hogs no chance, give our players no chance to win games. They just give us no chance. And people say, well, the players got to stop committing penalties. True, very true, but last week they had no penalties. And they still lost. Tonight they have 10 more penalties. And I'll say it again. If you're not putting a stop to it, then that means you are allowing it. You are allowing it and saying it's okay if you don't put a stop to it. And when I say put a stop to it, even though a player may be better than another player, if he can't stop committing flags in games, he needs to sit. Now here we are, 2-4, looking at Alabama next week, which is going to take us to 2-5 when they beat the hell out of us. And then we're sitting here at 2-5 with 5 games left. I don't know. I'm to the point where I just want a fresh start. It's not working. I see no signs that it will work. And I'm mad as hell about the Hogs losing. I know all players. They hurt worse than I do. They're the one putting the work in and going out playing these games. But make no mistake, Razorback fans are the best in the country, and we want to see the Hogs win. For the players' sakes, for the coaches' sakes, for everybody's sakes. But the bottom line here is, it's not working, folks. And I see no signs that it will work in the future. How did the offensive line get this bad? The signs were there last year with Stromberg, Lemmer, and Latham. All were three-year starters. Dalton Wagner was a 3-year starter. Matter of fact, yeah, I think Wagner was a 3-year starter. And the line faded in the second half of the year. And with those guys leaving, none who were big NFL-type players, none who were drafted, and now all of a sudden we're the worst offensive line in the country. What has happened? And your head coach who you hired, if he couldn't do anything else, he was supposed to be able to always have a good offensive line. This program, folks, It's at a crisis. Nobody wants to say it, but I will. This is a crisis, what's happening to this program. All is losing every single week for 2 years now almost. Almost every single year we're losing. And we're losing winnable games. Every game on this schedule this year has been winnable. And we found a way to lose them all. The only 2 wins you have is over Western Carolina and Kent State. Folks, that is terrible. That is absolutely awful. Now, I'm going to go over some stuff that happened in this game. I want to ask you a question. How do you have 12 men on the field, call timeout, everybody goes to the sideline, come out of the timeout, and still have 12 men on the field and get called for it, or gives Ole Miss a first down? How does that happen? It happens because of bad coaching. Inexcusable for that to have happened. Now, I got some notes wrote down here. Arkansas, and I've got to get my glasses here, folks. But I'll do that another time. But as I look at my notes I got wrote down here, the Hogs had 36 yards rushing tonight. 36 yards. Last week they had less than 50. 2 combined games, they got a total of less than 90 yards rushing. The offensive line is so bad that it's just unreal. It's unreal that a high D1 school like Arkansas can have an offensive line that's this bad. And your head coach is known supposedly to be a great offensive line coach. Folks, we got a problem here. And I want to know, what's the answer? What can we do? Now, I already know what I would do. And I'm just going to say it straight up tonight. I've held back from this and tried to not go there. But if I was the athletic director, Sam Pittman would be in the unemployment line, him and Dan Enos, right now. I'm just going to tell you straight up. And I like Sam and all this and that, and I always say this, but the bottom line is, he's not winning. He's losing game after game after game. And at some point, you got to say enough. Now, I'm just a little old Razorback fan sitting in my house on my YouTube channel expressing my absolute sickening disgust with all this losing. I've always been from the old school. I'm old school. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. I want people mad, pounding on the table, and I want people being held accountable for not doing their jobs. Do you hear me, Sam Pittman? Cody Kennedy? Dan Enos? Do you guys hear me? Now, I'm sitting up here watching this defense, and you're not going to hear me call this defense great because they're not. But this defense has done well enough in every game of the year to win. And you've got this offense that's absolutely atrocious. One of the worst I've ever seen in Arkansas, one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. That's how bad they are. And I'm not putting all this on the players because we have some good players. KJ didn't have a good night tonight. KJ Jefferson's a good football player. So is Rocket Sanders, and so are a lot of guys on this team. We've got a coaching problem, folks, on offense. And it starts with the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the offensive line coach. And I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who deletes their Twitter. I don't care who gets on right after you get embarrassed by A&M. You get on and start arguing with students in emails. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is you keep losing football games. And I'm flat out tired of it. I know all players tired of it. They played hard tonight, especially on defense. I think they played hard on offense. But this coaching staff gives these guys no chance to win. You can blame KJ all you want. KJ didn't get bad after what we've seen his first 3 years at Arkansas. Get bad overnight. You had a head coach who made another stupid decision. He went out and hired a pro-style coach to come in here and change the whole offense when he had recruited the previous 3 years for this spread style offense. So that's on the head coach. That's 1 strike. 2 strikes. He's got the most horrendous offensive line I've ever seen. And he's supposed to be an offensive line guru and claims Cody Kennedy is such a great coach. Now, do I expect for him to get on there and say, Cody Kennedy sucks, I got to fire him? No. What I expect him to do is not say, I don't want to step on my coach's toes, but to get in the pitch with him and get the best people on the field to help this team win. Now, you can say, well, he's putting the best out there. If that's the best he's got, he's done a bad job recruiting folks. This is just bad. I don't care what anybody says. I love the Razorbacks. I support this team. I support our players. But this coaching staff, especially on offense, has got to earn the players' respect back. And they darn sure got to earn mine, because I have seen nothing. No improvement. I've seen nothing to make me think that they're improving. Now, I could be wrong here, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think they're going to go no better than 4-8. They may beat Mississippi State and the other runaway team that they got on schedule. I don't see them beating anybody else. And that's sad. Arkansas football has had some low points over my lifetime. The Chad Morris years, John L. Smith, people, Jack Crow. I go way back. I go way back when I was a kid in the early 60s, when I became a Hawk fan. And it's just sad to see it like this, because they had an opportunity to win all these games. And a lot of the 4 that they lost by 9 points last year. And they keep losing these games. It's not all on the players. A lot of the players have changed from last year. I think you brought in something like 38 new players, which means you had 38 guys out of here. And the same thing keeps happening. So the bottom line is, we got to get better, folks. And I don't see but one way to do it. Got to clean house. I hate to lose this defensive staff, because I think for the most part, they've done a good job considering what we saw the last 2 or 3 years. But it's gotta stop. This gotta stop. Best fans in America are Razorback fans. They deserve so much better. But the main thing is, our players deserve so much better than this. I'm going to sign out tonight. And I just want to say, I'm still going to love the Hogs. I'm still going to follow the Hogs. I'm still going to watch the Hogs. And I'm also going to tell you the truth. Got to end it. It's got to stop. Thank you, folks.